is how good we are. We're just slobbering shite and talking away and not even. Oink yourself. Dargendorp is here. Cryptomeria is here. And me. That's the 3 people watching. That's my fault. I forgot to schedule this. But thanks you everybody for coming. We have been joined as always by the wonderful and fantastic Richard. We were just talking about satellite internet. Dargendorp, what is your thoughts on satellite internet?
I liked how you said the wonderful Richard. I like that. That was wonderful. That was amazing.
Fuck's sake, Raging Atheist. Fuck's sake now. Tuesdays and Saturdays, man. Tuesdays and Saturdays at 11. I don't mind. I do this for Richard anyway. This is my Tuesday night wind down. This is so we don't have to argue. Oh.
Argue? Who argues?
Well, I argue on the Saturday. On the Saturday, the panels, you know.
Saturdays, yeah.
He don't know. Dargendorp says he don't know on the satellite internet. That's his professional opinion.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, one thing Richard does know about would be Revelations.
Bible-y stuff.
Bibbly stuff. The Bibbly stuff.
Bibliographies.
Right. How's that for you, Richard?
It's lovely in size.
And we did highlight. It was highlighted here. So I did look back. We are on Revelations 12. I know we didn't really do this last week. We did the whole holiday bullshit.
I think your mic distance to voice is a little bit not perfect.
I really do need to get a new mic. I really.
It just needs to be in front of where you're looking.
I know, but that's really annoying. It's right here in my space, you know. In my space, yeah, it's working. It's just, it's very annoying. Right, moving on. Boom, there we are. Oh, we need to get rid of fucking Stephen. Good night, Stephen. Yes, so Richard, if you wouldn't mind using your wonderful American accent.
Which is so terrible and boring. Only some non-American would like my accent. Peace and respect, Dargendorp and Cryptomeria as well. Revelation 12.
Are we getting it? Is it near the start of the second time we're going to get to the story? I'm still waiting on the trippy stuff. I haven't really seen any LSD.
There is no trippy stuff. That's just what people say when they say that, oh, it's like a drug trip. It just means they don't have a reasonable explanation for it. I mean, I have to agree that in that mindset, there's stuff in here that sounds absolutely insane. But if you don't adopt that mindset, which is a Christian mindset, and you just read it, and if it makes sense, that I mean, all of this is reasonable, I think.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as saying reasonable, and I would disagree with your one-off broad brush statement. Is that why they that? I'd say there's more of a reason that they say that because everyone says it and nobody's read the damn thing.
Well, can't say nobody. Hi, I'm Richard. I've read this. It makes sense to me. So not nobody.
Will you be mad? So you don't count.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know.
Don't count.
I know.
You don't count.
It's perfectly all right. It's a very convenient kind of matter.
See, yeah, I went to lift my hands. The mic's, yeah.
I like it.
No, yeah. Right, give it.
Microphone with your hand.
Tell us about this great wonder in heaven.
Yeah. Bear in mind that most of these words in the King James versions, etc., other translations like and, there, probably not in the original text. Try to keep that in mind in the back of your head. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon at her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder. Okay, that's going to be another topic. Okay, so just 1 and 2. This is the same as the vision of the Guadalupe.
What?
If people know Hispanic culture.
I know I've heard of the word Guadalupe before, but not sure of the prophecy.
It is this. Only the person who received the vision of the Guadalupe took it as a literal woman. Okay, but I do know of a great wonder in the sky, lowercase heaven, which is thought of as feminine, that is clothed in the sun, and the moon is at her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, the zodiac. That would be the earth. It's not Mary, it's the planet, the earth, the one we're on. And from this perspective, and she being with child, that is to say the child is about to be born, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. I think this pain to be delivered thing, this is talking about how the earth is being killed by the humans on it, which is just evidently true right now and not true very far into the past.
So this first Revelation 12's line 1 and line 2 is a description of just the shorthand version.
Oh, yeah, and the need for the announcements, the Savior.
And the child being delivered.
We need rescued from ourselves.
What would you consider the child then to be? The pain? The pain.
That's Jesus.
The child is Jesus.
The child itself is Jesus. Yeah.
Right. Again, this is, we're going to diverge on our doctrine again. This is.
Oh, that's okay though. I'll never call you a heretic.
Could the people that are surviving and going to heaven not be the ones that are delivered?
Oh, that word delivered is not, no, it's birthed.
Birth.
It's not that kind of delivered. It's like a delivery room, that kind of delivered.
Delivered and gave birth still can be used in the analogy that I'm pointing out about it being the...
Yeah, you could. It'd be a stretch, but you could. But this is more the idea of birthing, not delivered from some bad situation.
Why you know right? Okay,
delivered as in brought into the actual.
Right, delivered as in whatever the fuck you want to mean it, right? Whatever word you want to use. The fact that it's delivered, why can we not use it? It's still an analogy. Why must that particular part be a literal Jesus is appearing, where the other part of it is not? Why?
Well, the child cried, right? Travailing in birth.
And she, no, the child didn't cry, and she being
I
with
know
child.
that. I know that. Okay, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Okay, the child referring to, I believe, Jesus, because the whole thing's about Jesus. It really is, and I mean even more than Christians understand. And travailing in birth, that is, it's time for him to be born, and of course, I believe that time for him to be born is end times. And pain to be delivered. That, you know, the earth suffers in end times.
Yes, but why can
that's what I think?
Why can it not be the people who are travailing in the pain and all, and they're going through and being birthed into our new, you know, we're joining heaven. We are not the same anymore.
Well, that's true. I mean, it is true, and it's consistent with the rest of the story and stuff. I have to grant you that.
Yeah, you see, this is. Why?
Just that pesky little thing called context prevents that from being the case here.
Context? Why? The previous
it's
chapter
about the earth.
You're saying the earth.
Yeah. Well, if you know of another woman who is clothed with the sun and the moon at her feet, and if you assign value to the Guadalupe as a vision, cloaked in a cloak of stars, with 12 stars around her head, i.e. the zodiac, 12 constellations, because right there, stars is actually clumps of stars, or groupings
okay,
of stars,
our individual doctrines will agree on that, but my doctrine says that this is the representation of all of us who understand.
No, it's fine.
Moving forward. And being birthed into our new life.
It seems totally plausible. We'll just see if it keeps holding up.
I don't detect any sarcasm in your voice.
No, I don't need to be sarcastic. If it holds up, it's probably true. If it continues to hold, use it. Absolutely.
I just like doing that to show that when you say there is only one way of interpreting it and taking it and being consistent, and you are consistent, you've put an awful lot of thought into it. But even within your own limitations, so to speak, or your boundaries would probably be a better word, within the boundaries of your religion, if we can use that word, there is also other possibilities.
Yeah, there are also other possibilities. There are. They're just going to become inconsistent in time. Yes, they will, like in 3.
In like 3. Okay, right. Go.
Yeah. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And wonder doesn't mean good thing necessarily. It just means something awesome. And that could be horrible.
Sorry.
Behold,
sorry. Before you continue on with 3 and we leave what we were talking about. Arctic Timberwolf, 12 stars, are about the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, that's saying the same thing again. Thank you, Arctic. That the blessings on the 12 tribes of Israel match the zodiac for a very good reason. Ask a Jew.
So you're agreeing with them, but
it's again the zodiac.
You're agreeing with them, but your information is older.
No, he's saying something way too recent and not looking at the Hebrew zodiac in consideration of the actual meanings of the 12 stars.
Hey, I don't ever like to speak and say what anyone's doing, but
it's kind of a presentism fallacy, actually. No, it factually is a presentism fallacy. I can show that because it's not taking into consideration the Hebrew tradition, which is obvious in the text.
Would you say that there was probably more people in the world that would say that spend their time working on this sort of thing would say it's the 12 tribes of Israel?
I don't know. Are they Jews or not? Because the Jews are the real students of the Old Testament, which is what this is referring to.
Well, I would rather ask someone who studied in it, that maybe not necessarily is a Jew, than say it just because they're a Jew. And, you know, I have said that word that many times, the algorithm is going like this. So we're going to move on.
Jew.
Shut up!
I love what David Silverman said. He said they named me David Silverman because they said Jewy Jew is not Jewish enough for a name. So
I don't think that's a person that I would really like. No.
Still a funny line. I mean, I'm not agreeing with everything he ever said, but it's a funny line.
Okay.
So, yeah. When it comes to the Old Testament, which referring to the 12 tribes is Old Testament, right? Which is what Arctic Timberwolf's argument, peace and respect, Arctic Timberwolf, I wish you well, is what his argument is. It's the 12 tribes. So that's Old Testament. Old Testament Judaism, okay? So if you're going to talk about Old Testament, you have to look at it from the Jewish point of view. Is there a Jewish zodiac which matches the 12 tribes? If you think there isn't, you're only uninformed.
Okay. Ready?
Sure.
Three. And there's another one there.
Yes. And behold, a great red dragon. That's supposed to have negative connotations there. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. Okay. The way I read this is an evil thing, a reference to Satan or to the beast of Satan. That the heads are spirits of God. That the 10 horns are the 10 commandments or the 10 standards. And the 7 crowns upon his head are his twisting of the 7 spirits of God.
I'm sorry.
And that's what gives it power. What's that?
Go back a wee bit. I was looking at the live chat. That was very rude of me. I missed an important point. Could you tell me again that this after it's Satan? I lost you.
It's the Satan and the beast of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where their power is rooted in, is their twisting of the understanding that the Jews and the Christians have. Twisting the 10 commandments, twisting the 7 spirits of God. That's why the iteration of 7 and the iteration of 10. And crowns meaning empowerment or authority.
Mm-hmm.
The twisting of the 7 is their power and authority. That is to say that they use the standard 7 spirits of God.
I don't see twisting in this. I don't see twisting in this. In this word. Keep saying twisting. I don't see it.
Twisting. Yes, I'm asserting that Satan and the beast of Satan twist the Bible. Yeah, I'm asserting that. It's not in the text there.
Okay. Just asking.
It could be in other places, however. Like everywhere.
So could we, well my doctrine, my doctrine says that this is Satan's spaceship. This is a description of Satan arriving, because Satan is a little behind Jesus and he eventually does get here.
that would look like imitating. You don't need to imitate that. Even mockery gives credit to the one being mocked, and imitation is only a form of flattery.
Right, hold
you
on.
need to replace the authority. You don't need to imitate the authority.
Imitating, and like this man is arriving, or this person is arriving in their big red spaceship that is being described as this. Because this writing is describing it, is not imitation.
I thought you said he'd be following and imitating Christ.
No, you in your religion is Satan not in a spaceship a wee bit behind Jesus. Not behind Jesus, behind heaven, chasing him.
Yes.
And he eventually does arrive here.
About 40 days later, yeah.
Right.
40 days later, yeah.
Okay, so in my doctrine, to be consistent, travailing in birth and pained to be delivered, so it hasn't happened yet. This is the people that are going to move on. This is now a description. So you have to put my hand up like this, because this description is then Satan's spaceship arriving.
Could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my doctrine seems to be consistent as well. Just said that 3 would destroy it. 3 just confirmed it. So.
Yeah. Your last idea in your doctrine, which is fine, is that this is people ascending to heaven, and then this one in 3 is people keeping from being ascended to heaven.
No. In 2, to
trickery.
be. I did say to be, as in future tense. They haven't done it yet. It's a shorthand.
Okay,
yeah, haven't got there yet, and Satan's arrived.
Mm-hmm.
So if verse 4 talks about the red dragon or anything, and I'm looking at the camera, right? Not looking over here. Right? Verse 4 is any sort of a description about the dragon or the representation of Satan then interfering, then that's more confirmation of my doctrine being correct.
Okay.
Verse 4. Let's see.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. I think this is referring to the smiting of the thirds, where we will lose appearance of stars that we normally could see. And did cast them to the earth, that is, made them not seeable in space. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So this representation is, I want to destroy what is trying to be birthed. So Satan is trying to destroy and step in and block the people from getting to heaven. And it's a description. Or Jesus. Your doctrine. That's your.
Well, it says the child.
Yeah, well, you've used the word earth in representation of lots of things today, so we're going to give me a pass on that one.
Okay, fine.
But I think my doctrine's my doctrine. I'm not going to start a holy war with you and get my gun, but
you can't shoot this far anyway. I don't know what kind of gun you think you have.
Nuclear weapons. All right.
Apparently, and you are upwind, up rotation of me. That makes it easier for you. It's harder for me to shoot toward you, actually. That's why you need a space program, and that's why whoever
plus you don't
west
have
of you is in greater danger than anyone east of you.
You don't have, and the fact you don't have nuclear weapons.
I don't.
No.
Oh well.
I got it on. You see, I joined the new thing that Trump has in replacement of Twitter, and he was posting the launch all over it.
Oh, good.
Did you not see? No.
No, I missed that one. I missed that tweet.
Oh, the FBI raided his house because he stole confidential information from the press.
That figures.
Yeah.
Sorry, it all looks like game show hosts to me.
Right.
She brought forth a man-child, singular male, man-child, who was to rule all nations. Oh gosh, everybody rules all nations. That's not really going to work, Robbie.
No.
With a rod of, is it still not talking about a large group of people from the earth? Or did it?
Yeah, no. I'll let you finish your sentence, and then I'll finish your verse.
Okay. She brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. I think that's Jesus, and that's Jesus gaining belief in the Father, and is thereby caught up.
No, disagree with you. This is a representation of everybody feeling good upon themselves because they all the whole idea of ruling all nations. It's not ruling all nations. It's a ruling of yourself and getting over the moving forward. And you have to do that with a rod of iron.
At this point, with our ability to travel the earth and intermingle in ethnic groups, you could say that almost everybody, I mean, there are exceptions, like the Sentinels, the people of the Sentinese people who've been isolated, or perhaps they're, the 250 or so jungle-dwelling tribes in the Amazon would not be intermingled. But everybody else, you could say that an individual is several nations.
There was a guy I had to kick out of the church because he went too far. He said that the whole idea of ruling all nations was a representation. That was just crazy, so I had to kick him.
Oh, that's no.
He was gone.
Wow.
Madman.
Where'd that come from?
Madman.
Serious problems, that guy. All right. And the woman fled into the wilderness. Wilderness means a place you're unfamiliar with. As a standard way of looking at the word wilderness. It doesn't mean like you ran into a jungle. It doesn't mean that. It means a very, very new place where you could perish. And it would be, it could be very hazardous to the individual. Unfamiliar territory.
Well, that's very good because, moving forward into a new territory.
I think this is her death. That is, she's killed. And it says so elsewise.
Yes, well, the earth has to be destroyed for us to move on,
No. This is switch topics to the physical woman, the one who actually gives birth to him.
Oh, my mic fucking cuts out. See, look, even Arctic Timberwolf is like, Google muted you. No, he didn't. No, they didn't. No, it didn't. Whatever. No. I just need the fucking mic right in front of me here. I go, Richard, while I try and dance.
So I think this has changed topics. I think I can show why I assert that, and that it's reasonable to say it's changed topics to quote unquote Miriam, which means bitter, by the way. That it's the woman herself, and the woman herself is fled into a wilderness, not necessarily by her choosing, where she hath a place prepared by God. It should be more by God than of God. Of is kind of the wrong idea in the modern English. That they should feed her there 1,260 days. By the way, that's 3.5 again in years. So it's at 3.5 again, or 42 months.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. I'm not going to get it.
If you do the math, it ends up that way. It ends up 3.5 years, and it's always 3.5 years. Full stop. That's the end of that idea. It moves on to the next idea at 7.
Okay, go.
No, it's time for your doctrine, the argument part.
Oh yeah, I already explained it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is Earth. This is the period of the 3.5 years where we have to struggle while the Earth is destroyed. This period where the aliens come, and then there's the trials and tribulations.
Okay, so this hasn't gotten to the arrival of heaven yet.
Oh,
and
no.
This has only gotten to the what do they call it? The halftime show, where there's a war in the heavens, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
The devil just arrived. He's here having the war.
Right, the devil just arrived.
Yeah, this is the period of time.
So in order that this is the second half, the devil can't have just arrived. This has to be referring to the first half.
Shorthand. Revelation shortens everything.
Oh, okay. Could you bump the screen upward?
Bump.
Lovely.
What was that?
And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Space battle.
Space battle. Yeah, it's Star Wars. I think it's going to be in between Mars and Jupiter in the asteroid belts, which is why we include asteroid belts in so many of our movies about Star Wars.
Well, I don't know about.
Um,
I don't know if that's meteor. It's a good place to have a fight.
right.
Well, strategically, regardless of whether
Yes.
it's a prophecy or not,
Yeah, because you have somewhere to hide.
yeah, in a military operation, it just makes sense to have a battle there.
Sure. Which is why we put it in Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars and Star Trek, and we put it
I think
everywhere. 'Cause it's a really
Galactica.
good idea.
I think there's only one episode where Galactica did, and they weren't even focusing on the battle. The pilot, even after they.
Yeah, Scar. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Right on. He had a tactical usage of moving space rock. on a
Oh well,
regular basis.
I'm not talking about the original. I'm talking about the newer one.
That's fine. It was in the old one too.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
only
but-
seen like the first half of the first season. That's all I've seen. I don't know all of it.
Bearded Heretic says it has to be a battle on Earth because the atmosphere allows for their weapons to be more effective. And equals fire and brimstone.
That's not true. Actually, most energy weapons are disrupted, just like light is dispersed by our atmosphere. They're more effective in a vacuum. That's absolutely incorrect. But peace and respect to you.
Most energy weapons. How many people do you know
Yes.
that have laser beams that they can just like laser
There's
guns?
several kinds of energy weapons,
Laser beams theoretically are actually proven.
No, that we've shown that we use.
Like I know there's lasers.
Let me give you a quick
Laser.
example. Let's say
Laser.
let's say you were in a vacuum, right? And a laser were passing through that vacuum, right? And there is nothing, literally nothing but the energy beam itself. What's going to scatter it? See, so it wouldn't scatter
Well,
because it's hitting literal nothing until it reaches its target.
and you're assuming that it leaves the laser 100% precise and in a beam. Do you know how fucking hard
No,
that
it
is?
doesn't
to
matter
do?
what direction it's going.
Well, you're
it
asking
has
what-
nothing
no,
to
it-
hit.
No. You're asking what disperses it. Well, a laser beam you're assuming is perfect. From the get-go, from the get-go, it disperses.
That's not what I mean by disperse. Whatever shape it is, there's nothing to disrupt that shape because there's nothing for it to hit in a vacuum. So it's going to be as effective as possible. However, in the opposite, let's say you shone.
I disagree with
Let's
this.
say you shot a laser into a muddy pond. You really think it's going to get to the bottom?
Okay, can you tell me what a laser is?
Yeah, it's light energy.
So you would consider a laser to be little packets of photons and light in a beam concentrated in a straight line.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
yeah, no,
scientist,
we're not- right,
but
but
that's
yeah.
basically the understanding I have of
Okay,
a laser.
and
Yeah.
it is flying through space and it is hitting nothing because there's nothing in space for it to hit. So these
Right, which is
light
why they're
beams.
more effective
Oh,
in
please,
space.
please. So these light beams, these little packets of photons, are traveling through space, and there's nothing in space for them to hit. Have you ever looked up at the sky at night and seen stars? There's light beams all over space, and if they're the
I said
same,
until they reach their target.
yes, I'm just saying that there is particles of light all over space.
Yes, I'm not sure that light has mass, and that it would be
As
something
much as
to
a
hit.
laser. Photons hit photons.
Look, neither one of us are theoretical physicists here.
Okay.
Let's just go with the theory of space being an absence of stuff.
How about this?
Okay.
We
And
we
let's-
look at the
let's
live
do
chat,
opposite.
right? We look at the
Solid
live chat.
objects.
Look at the live chat and go, Bearded Heretic. I love that I've started a
Well,
debate about energy weapons.
I might be able to. I might be able to look at. Oh, here we go. Let's see. I'll bring that up.
Oh, Wesley, is
Had to
that
refresh.
aimed at
Why
me?
did YouTube stop refreshing by itself? What is up with that?
Is that aimed at Richard or is that aimed at me? I used to be smart or Richard used to be smart?
Wesley Curry is a very intelligent person whom I like a lot, and I refuse to lie to. So when Wesley Curry says things that I think are impossible in reality, I tell them about it. And I do that with Arctic Timberwolf as well. And because of that, they insult me. I'm doing it out of love and consideration instead of humoring them and masturbating them for their own pleasure. Now, that means I care about you and I'm not willing to lie. You can accept that or take it however you want. All right? But I care about you because you are a child of God. And when you say something that's impossible in reality, I'm going to point it out to you.
As I just did when you made a statement about a laser transfer moving.
This is not the time for a joke. I'm sorry. Brother, this is not a time for a joke. Like these people need to seek help. Those two people need to seek help. I'm not kidding you. I mean, from professionals. It's not a joke. One of them thinks they're God. The other one is sure he's a prophet. By the way, they wouldn't agree with each other, so they can't be talking about the same God.
I feel like it's went dead quiet.
Yeah, well, it should. Out of respect for the people. Those are people.
Well, everybody here's a person.
And it makes me want to cry to see them suffer. Seriously.
Cryptomaria wants to do group therapy.
The problem is you're relatively healthy if you want therapy. The truly sick don't want therapy.
So, my doctrine is right. And we're on to verse 8. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And prevailed, that means they lost the war. And prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. Again, that's properly lowercase heaven or space and sky. Arguments?
Oh no, I agree with lowercase heaven being space and sky. Space battle.
Okay. Yep. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth. I think this just makes him an oxygen breather. He ran away because he was his stuff was too damaged and he had to get air. And his angels were cast out with him. That is, they're oxygen breathers too.
Well, my doctrine says that they were beaten in battle.
Yeah, they were beaten in battle, and there was so much damage to their protective shielding against space that they had to seek an oxygen-rich environment, i.e. an atmosphere. Closest one's right here, because the next one's quite some distance away.
Why would they? Right, okay, so the devil comes here and he's stuck on Earth and it blows up. How did he get on to the next planet?
Oh, he doesn't.
Well, this, hold on, just if I can confirm, right? This is the 23rd Earth.
Yes.
Right, and the devil...
Well, ours is the 24th.
Okay.
This is the story of the 23rd, yeah.
Okay, ours is the 24th.
Yeah.
And the devil has been chasing Adam and heaven and this group of people from the get-go.
However long that is, yeah.
However long that is. Why is
Ever
it...
since the rebellion.
Okay, why is it our Earth that he gets killed on?
No, he gets killed on every Earth. And reincarnated.
So his
In fact,
body...
the Bible, in no uncertain terms, says that he gets reincarnated.
Okay, well, I think we talked about... So you're saying that reincarnation is possible. So our brain is being downloaded somewhere.
Yeah, in fact, that claim's pretty consistent. There are familiar demons, evil things studying you. And then there are guardian angels. They study you as well, apparently, because they know you. That's the claim anyway.
A person studying me would not be...
That's the same job for two different teams. What's that?
I don't know where you're going with this, because a person studying me and watching me constantly 24 hours a day would still not be able to perfectly replicate how I would think.
If it were us doing the observation, I would agree with you. Since it's angels and demons doing the observations and we don't know what their mental capacities are, I can't agree. I think we can't assess that.
Right, well, and watching, okay, using that phrase, watching. If they have the ability to scan my brain, then fine. But that's copying and downloading.
Okay, you can put it that way. I don't have a problem with it.
Right. You know, watching me and making notes and fucking typing on a computer. Oh, he did this
Oh,
morning.
like watching from the outside rather than watching from the inside.
As in copying and
No,
downloading my brain.
right. I think it's more has to do with. It's just like David says, "You're with me always." That's because his father is in his brain, looking out through his friggin' eyes. He's closer than the jugular vein, is what the text reads.
Okay, right.
So it's looking from the inside out. It's not looking from the outside in.
Okay, I'm just looking for a logical idea and a logical way for this devil that has now had his ship destroyed. Okay? And information can only travel over a certain distance.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't know why that's true.
It's degraded, man. You can't just send something out into space and it just... even at the speed of light, there's a limitation. Would you agree there's...
We don't know that. We do not. We literally do not know that. We have evidence to the contrary.
Okay, right. Okay, right. I am wondering, and I'm assuming that he is backing up his brain, or his guardian angels, or the evil guardian angels, or whatever their fucking job is, are based on his ship.
Yeah, I think so. Which the logical conclusion is, since he gets rescued later, he didn't bring his entire civilization. He only brings a battle force.
Okay, so he's right. You said he died, and now you're telling me he's rescued.
Yeah, he gets rescued by the main body of his kind.
Didn't die.
He does die.
Okay, you are contradicting yourself by saying he dies and he is rescued. There's a big gap
Dies
there.
Physically. Hold on, the body perishes, but the mind is maintained. How exactly? I don't actually know how exactly they maintain a mind, but the mind is put back into another. I don't know. Maybe it's like an election process where the best demon gets to be Satan next time. I don't know how that works.
So you're open to the possibility that every single time the person dies, another entity takes over the job.
Yeah, it even says how long it takes them to like recover the Satan from the destroyed planet. It takes 1,000 years.
1,000 years of recovery from Satan dying to his brain appearing again in a new body.
Right.
Okay.
And as soon as he's in another body, he starts chasing God for the next end times. So that looks like end times are 1,000 years apart, give or take.
Well, it could be 1,000 years and he took another 1,000 to catch up on him. He's got a 1,000-year head start.
You got a point there.
Right, okay, let me get this straight. So, Satan comes, spaceship blown up. Satan lands on Earth with his minions. At the little yellow ones that go fart.
Not those.
Not those.
No, not cute little innocent minions, no.
Right? So we've got Satan and his minions on Earth. Do the minions get resurrected?
It doesn't say anything about that, and I couldn't speak to it.
So Satan comes.
I can only say it would be an appeal to ignorance. I don't know.
Okay, so Satan comes. Earth is destroyed. Now, according to you, it takes how many years for the Earth to be destroyed? Between the aliens arriving and it being stripped of everything and turned into a spaceship. What is that period of time?
That's kind of two questions simultaneously, if you don't mind. That's kind of two things. How long till they begin the process of destroying it? About 3.5 years. How long does it take to completely melt down? About a month, maybe 3.
Okay, so 3 to 4 years would have worked as an answer.
Okay, I just want to be thorough.
So, aliens arrive. Right? Devil arrives 40 days later. Ship's destroyed. He lands on Earth. 3.5 years, say, at this stage now passes. At the end of that 3.5 years, the Earth is kaput. No more.
At the end of that 3.5 years, Christ is killed. They pull the waters off of the planet. It can no longer maintain temperature.
So the Earth is kaput.
Like about 40 days after that before like a human can't live there anymore.
Okay. So can we confirm that this period of time is less than 1,000 years?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Easy.
Okay. And the devil dies when the earth is destroyed.
Yes. He and his kind and the fallen angels are all thrown into a pit, which Michael locks up. And that's why, rocks fall on their head and they die in lava and all this
Hear me out.
Brimstone idea.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh, go ahead. I want to hear the logic of it.
No. Let's take the speed of light into consideration, okay?
Ooh, this should get fun.
And it takes 1,000 years for his brain that is being downloaded to travel through space at the speed of light until it reaches their spaceship again. Because he's so far away. And then the devil jumps on and goes, Jesus went left when he left Earth. So they now have a direction to go.
That's not a bad explanation. Although, if what we're talking about is multiple occurrences, in extremely large numbers of what we consider to be small and ineffectual quantum effects, which don't have an opposite quantum effect, so there's no balance in it. So you get it like a direct thing.
I don't know what the point you're making is. Sorry, I've lost you right at the start. Like you went, and I lost you right at the start.
Then it could be instantaneous over distance.
Right, there's a possibility of that.
Because we see quantum effects that are instantaneous over distance.
Oh yeah. What do you call it? Spooky motion
really
at a distance. Yeah, spooky motion at a distance. I think that's what you're talking about. I think that's the slang term for it. Yeah, spooky motion at a distance. I understand that, right?
Mm-hmm. Which that's, for anyone who doesn't know, that's an Einstein, and that's how old this is, this knowledge, and we've been observing it that long.
But what's wrong with mine? Why can it not take 1,000 years for the information?
I don't know.
So there's a possibility.
I'm just saying we don't know. It seems logically plausible, sure, that something travels at the speed of light, sure. Like, for instance, light travels at the speed of light.
Well,
so that's totally possible.
The speed of light isn't necessary. I can't remember. I don't know how to derive it, but I've watched it, and speed of light's more of a boundary than it is a speed. Understand what you're trying to say, but atom to copy an atom to copy it. So what I think you're trying to say is that, in my mind, then the bodies and shit must be made in twos. Don't represent, you don't recreate one body, you recreate two, so that you've always got a clone in storage.
Wow, what a smart way to, if that's what they do, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
You see, this is why you should join my doctrine. We already figured this shit out.
This is not changing what I think is true. It's just an interesting idea, and it could be true. And it would be smart to have a Satan on ice, like doing only downloads, and he's just suspended.
Mm-hmm.
That would be smart, sure.
That's what I'm saying. So if it dies, the information and all that, yeah. Come join.
And that could be that doesn't really argue with anything. It doesn't change anything. It's an interesting possibility. As for me, I don't see the text going into that depth about it, and I don't see anything logically negating or necessary about the text that would indicate that is true or not true. So it's an interesting thought.
I'm just replying. I am listening to you. Interesting thought.
It's interesting. It's just not necessary, and it's not necessary.
It's another possibility.
Right.
We don't understand alien technology. Don't get me wrong. Bearded Heretic does. They've seen alien weapons. I can't prove that they haven't.
Okay.
They made that claim.
Okay. Like for instance, it would be an interesting debate to cover all the information on the resurrection of Jesus Christ, if there's one of him on ice, or if they fix the actual dead body that he has. You see, you could do that too.
Okay, I'm just
you could make holes in somebody's hand in an otherwise healthy body. You could put holes in their hand and in their feet and in their side. That shouldn't be a problem.
Oh no, he's admitted he hasn't seen aliens. You see, that's the integrity of bearded heretic, right? Because they're like, oh shit, some bastard might call me out and screenshot it. I have to be honest, I haven't seen it. Man with integrity.
I like that.
But yeah, the Atlantis gene it's a book series. It's sort of where that idea is coming from me too. This idea of the clones and the being two at a time. It's not exactly what they have in the Atlantis gene. But they have an ability. There's always a backup. You know, their mind is always being backed up to the local ship, and if anything happens to their body, they grow a new body and get re-downloaded into it.
Yep.
SG1 is amazing. And Arctic Wolf must be in my doctrine because Richard is saying blasphemy. So
anything you say against Arctic Timberwolf, since he believes he is the god, at least in this character that he's representing now, anything you say against him is blasphemy. So if I say Arctic Timberwolf should seek help from, professionals on mental health, then that's blasphemy.
Okay. I've also
But I'd like to know why a god is trapped here in MathPig's side chat.
Here,
I'd like to know that.
Here, don't get me wrong. According to what Sammy was putting forth last week, and we had a real good conversation about it, you may be the new Jesus. So I may be co-hosting the show with Jesus.
I do not think that is true. And if I were chosen to serve our species and our ancestors in any way, I want you to know I would absolutely do it. I want you to know that seriously, anything they ask me to do, I would do it.
Oh, we're gonna pull out the fucking, come sacrifice your son shit.
I'm serious. Anything. If I can help in any way, I would love to.
So you're pronouncing this to the aliens now. You will do anything they tell you.
Yes.
So are we going about walk
they
up?
already know that. I'm only announcing it to you.
Yeah, well, you see, the fact that you announced that to me took a wee bit of cred ever so slightly off of it. When someone makes the statement, I would do anything.
Yep.
Are we going to go down that route of is it Isaac? Up the mountain with his daddy?
If you talk about Abraham?
Yes.
Abraham?
Taking his son up the mountain to kill him? Kill the goat instead?
Sure. That's just the story of Jesus, don't you?
Right. No. It doesn't matter what the story is, right? When you make a statement that says, I will do anything, that's the sort of idea that comes to my mind. Regardless of what the story was and Jesus and whatever in your interpretation, okay? Everyone knows that that's a story of a man that will do anything to the point where he will kill his own son. Okay? So that's what comes to my mind. So when you make a statement that I will do anything, being that asshole that takes it to the extreme. So if God says to you, if you had a child, would you kill it?
Yeah.
You give birth to a nephew.
Hold on. You said a lot. When I say that, and your example is fine, Abraham and Isaac, and I agree that I would do as Abraham, right, with Isaac. What I'm saying is, within the morality that I believe is being expressed by that story, it's the father and the son, which is why he's replaced and lives. So he's brought to the very brink of death, but he does not die. And that's the point. Okay. That he's resurrected.
Thank you for explaining the point of the story. Now, my question still stands.
I did answer it. What I mean is, within what I believe their moral standards already are, which I agree with are actually moral. It wouldn't include physically hurting a person, for instance. I would not believe they asked me to do that. I would believe that was some other entity that asked me to do that. And I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so what you're saying is, if somebody contacted you in the normal ways that your God connects with you, and asked you to do something which you would consider morally wrong, right?
Which I would consider inconsistent with the morality of the one who's been telling me the truth.
And you've also made the statement many a time that we don't know the mind of them, and we don't know what their intentions, and they are more thoughtful and more mindful and more intelligent than what we are.
Yes.
And you don't know that you've give birth to the second general or something, right? In what's going to be the fucking evil army coming, but your boy knows.
Okay.
He tells you to kill your son without telling you why, but there's a reason why, right? You secretly give birth to a fucking Nephilim or something, whatever the reason is.
Okay.
I could pick one out, and your God would have a reason for that, okay?
Okay.
But if you heard that in your mind in the normal way that your devil, your Jesus, whatever it is that contacts you, you would make the decision that it is not your Jesus because you were deciding that it doesn't line up with his morality. Well, who the fuck are you to step in and say that you know better than God?
Okay, well, first I better be defeated and not be counting on my own mind. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, if they're not consistent in their morality, I don't know what to make of any of this anyway. All right? So they need to at least be consistent so they can be understood.
They are, to their mind, they are consistent.
Well, not exactly. Because as soon as you say there should be a change in the plan, i.e. kill Hitler as an infant, something like that. As soon as you say that, you say the plan was flawed. Now, they believe the plan is not flawed and they wouldn't fix it. So when you say that something like kill Pol Pot in his youth so that 10 million aren't killed by his army, I'm sorry, that's going to be against the plan. They're never going to say do that. No, it's logical necessity.
We have had this discussion before. The Rise of the Lycans do not go on. Oh no, that's the one with the army of the werewolves, and it's not bad, but it's a bad ending, and it's probably the last of the good underworld. Sorry, I'm looking at the live chat. Stay. We're only going to be going for another 20 minutes, 25 minutes anyway to 12:30, man. Stay and then go watch. It's one of the better ones. But Richard, that point still stands. Rise of the Lycans is not one of the best underworld movies out there. That's my train of thought.
So yes, I'm dependent on my mind, absolutely, and my recollection of what is and is not something that a good force would say. Yeah, I'm dependent on my mind. I totally agree with you. Okay, and it would be, and I have changed my morality based on what I believe their morality is. Okay, and because of that, became more of a humanist. I was a lot less of a humanist. So yes, it's dependent on my mind and my memory and my judgment of what I think is consistent in their morality. So overall, I agree with you. But I believe I have been defeated, and I adopt their morality, which has been consistent. And I've seen through experience and lots of iterations of this, the opposite side of that, where there is no such thing as morality. And there's only practicum, that which is practical in the moment. And that's all that there is. And I understand that to be demonic. Although they're intelligent, they have forward-thinking memory, they can plan for the future, there's not an emotion to be had. They only imitate emotions, and actually they imitate them rather poorly, which is why people who are representing them are so freaking weird and clumsy in social settings. Because they can't be a real human, so to speak.
I'm still, right, I'm going to just break it down. We've been rambling about this for now 15 minutes, and I'm going to break it down from where I see it. and I see you making a statement that I would do anything if my God told me, you discern
Yes.
your God at the moment from me. You can hear this guy and have vision. You have a way of communicating with your God that is definitely different than how you communicate. We discussed last week. We went in depth last week about how you communicate
Yes,
with
we
them,
did.
right? So they are definitely a personality, right?
I believe, yes, I've experienced personality in them.
Yes, and if another experience happened in the same way, which is definitely not me imitating or Arctic imitating or anyone else imitating, it's definitely a being of the level or above in technology or abilities as your God. Are we in agreement with that?
Have to be, yes.
Right. And you discern the difference between the devil messing around with you and God by your subjective nature of morality, which you have set up based upon your previous interactions with your God.
That's one form of measurement. It's not every form of measurement.
We could use hands and see if it's a pony. No.
Right. Well, if it's less than 16 hands, it's a pony, and if it's more than 16 hands, it's a horse.
Yeah.
So yes, there is my discernment. There's also consistency within the religious stories. Do they agree with the religious stories? There's that, and then there's logic, unemotional logic. It should pass that as well. And
You have a
is it also universal? It's not just in the Bible. It's in Aboriginal Australian.
Again,
it's freaking everywhere.
It's you saying it's everywhere. You seeing it everywhere. It's you subjectively making the difference.
But everything you're saying is the same as the same as Richard. You're using your brain. I've admitted this.
I'm just trying to say, you have said before, you do not understand. And maybe intentions is a bad word, but the mind and the goals overall.
Oh, I might have said something like unfathomable and you can't understand all of it, but I think I do have a baseline.
Yeah, right. You have a baseline. Okay, you're welcome to have a baseline. But your baseline is here and God's up here, man. You know, you're off screen.
I'm certain of that.
100% certain of that. So when you make a statement that I will do anything for my God, and God comes in and says, I want you to kill Uncle Beck because it turns out...
But that's already evil.
Why?
Hurt something on purpose not to eat it. It's already evil.
By the standard that you've set up, by what the interactions is already.
Well, the consistency throughout all of this story right here and several others. And it's also evidently immoral to hurt your own kind or
Holy
yourself.
Shit, man. We have talked about alien overlords. We have spent hours talking about how I think that them coming in and dragging me away from my family and shit and all that there. And
that will be a mental stressor for a time. I agree, it's difficult, but and you could say, well, that's hurting people. Fine. I don't think you understand just how stubborn we are. And I'm sorry if you have to be mentally stressed, emotionally stressed, your family temporarily ununited. I'm sorry about that. But if you want to say, oh, that's not fair, please consider how the overarching theme here helps everybody on the planet, and just live with the sacrifice of it.
There you are.
Okay,
No. Listen to your own words in the statement of what I just said back to you. Okay?
Sure.
Take what you have to do and what other people have to go through and the torment of this as the betterment for everyone else. Well, Uncle Beck turns out to jump straight to the other side, and he's second in charge.
Well, that's their choice. I mean, I would try to talk them out of it.
Right. Well, your God has asked you to step up.
No, that's not plausible. It's not consistent with my experience of my God.
Okay.
I mean, I would just not believe that was from my God.
yes, you wouldn't believe it was from your God. You would make the decision, even though there's no other way and nobody else has contacted you in that way, you would still believe it wasn't your God because it's inconsistent from your understanding of what it is.
I mean, I've read the book of Ezekiel where things like that are pronounced. But I understand the book of Ezekiel is about the Satan.
I have spent hours talking about the alien overlords and how we think about them as in the wrong way, and I think they're being not so great and coming down and being a bully and forcing themselves and taking the pawn. And we've even went into who owns the rights of the minerals on Earth. Okay? And I have made the point that these people are not nice if they come down and do it in the way that you were describing. We've even thought of better ways that you would agree that they could come down and do this and convert people quicker in a nicer way with less death. We've already come up with that.
I don't think. No. I might have said I think that what you're saying is valid in your mind and it makes sense to you, and I can see why you say it's valid.
I understand what you're doing, but I'm not.
I don't think there is a better way to conduct end times than the way it's going to be conducted. I don't.
Okay. Well, the point I'm trying to make is we have already confirmed from our conversations that I believe that these aliens are not nice people. So them being that, them saying to you, I need you to kill the set or disbar or get rid of or do something not so nice to the person who's second in charge of my enemy, and you say no because you don't think it aligns with your perception of what you think your God is. Oh, 69mega.com. Hello. New one.
At least their message made sense. I mean, that was actually in some kind of English that was understandable.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's my opinion. That's the way I'm putting it forth. I don't think.
I recognize the validity of your objection, and yes, I'm being very subjective to my own experience and understanding of things, and I have no choice. So I confirm and validate your objection. If I were you, I'd either hope A, Richard is never in that position, or B, Richard's correct.
I just think I'm nearly sure, right? And someone in the chat would possibly have more experience, very well versed in their fallacies and stuff like that, and may be able to name them. But I'm sure that there's a Christian out there before that said, I don't understand the mind of God. What it just sounds like to me, And you saying that your God then wouldn't understand, your God wouldn't ask that. So they're like, I don't understand the mind of God. And they're like, right, God asked you to kill your son, as in this example. God would never ask me to do that. And that's the argumentation that they have. And that sounds, I don't mean to be rude and blunt it down like that, but that sounds exactly what you're saying to me.
It pretty much is what I'm saying. There's just more nuance to it.
More nuance to it. But yes, it does sound exactly like that. I don't understand the mind of God. God asks you to do this. You don't understand why. I've give you a possible reason why. And you're like, well, it doesn't matter. My God would never ask me to do it.
Here's the thing. The word kill as in to end the life of.
Okay, well, we'll take it back to something that would take them out of the
only appears just a couple times in all of the Bible where it necessarily means ends the life of. And when it's talking about that, it's either in the book of Ezekiel or it's talking about the followers of Christ being scared for their life. And with good reason, someone's going to kill them. So all the rest of the occurrences of what could be like based in the word slay or severe change, that kind of an idea. If the Bible is consistent with it itself, it never talks about hurting a person or that's okay by the good forces in the story. It's never okay in any way ever. And it's only Christian biased reading of the text that, okay, you're scared of homosexuals and you're afraid you might be one, so you want them to be killed. Well, that might include you.
All right,
So that's not very smart.
I got a little blindsided, and it took my brain a wee minute because it started to spin. Right, it just spun there for a second. It took me like a minute and a half to get back. Did you say that there was no intentional killing in the Bible, or words to that effect?
There is not even a suggestion or approval, or even putting up with some believer physically hurting in any way, some non-believer. It's not okay.
Okay, now we're being specific. Okay, so it's not right. So there is no mention in the Bible of a believer hurting a non-believer.
Well, in a Christian reading frame, sure there is, thousands of times. But in a consistent reading frame, absolutely unacceptable.
What does stoning in the Bible mean then?
Oh, the word stone is described in great detail, and it even describes what a stone is structured as.
One second.
That a stone is made of two parts. You can lift no tool upon it. It has the word of God written in it. That's what a stone is. So an example of a stone would be Old and New Testament. The word of God written in it, but you didn't touch it. You didn't change it. You're not allowed to alter it in any way. So when we still use expressions like that, throw the book at them. You can't, it doesn't mean kill a person with a blunt, heavy object. It doesn't mean that. It means convince them that this is the truth. It's not about blunt force trauma to the head until they die. It's not what it's about.
I think again, Bearded Heretic makes a point here. Leviticus, it specifically means execution.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Oh,
I mean, you're welcome to read it that way, but you have an inconsistent God who sometimes says killing is good, sometimes says killing is bad. You decide what he means. I don't know.
You're deciding what your God means by you deciding your God wouldn't ask you to do that. And this is why I left.
I'm requiring consistency. Now, if someone has a mind that's inconsistent with itself, that's what we call crazy. I'd like to think that if something is worthy of worship, it's not crazy. So as a bare bones minimum, it has to be consistent with itself.
Leviticus 20:27 ESV 146. A man or a woman who is a medium or a necromancer shall surely be put to death. They shall be stoned with stones, their blood shall be upon them.
Right.
Could you give me your interpretation of that?
You could ask Marty Camejo my interpretation of this. We've had this discussion. Look, the audience is asking you, man. So I'm asking you to, I'm answering.
Okay, well, you don't need to say that we've had it. Okay, or just.
I'm just saying this is publicly known, and I have said this 1,000 times. I'm more than happy to say it again.
Bearded has mentioned tonight in the chat.
You don't allow people living a lie to continue the lie during end times. Okay? So all this necromancy, witchcraft crap, it's got to end. Now that includes Christianity, Judaism, lots of religions. Okay? So the idea of forcing people to accept the truth at hand is what's being expressed here. Not ending physically their flesh continuing to like eat and breathe and stuff. And yeah, if you have to be insistent about it, well, that's their fault. Because you're supposed to use reason first. By the way, this is talking to the Christ, and I think he'll be fine at it.
Yeah. You're not going to think he's going to do a shit job and fail.
Hope not. Because somebody picked the wrong dude if he does a crap job at it, right?
I'm just hoping you do well when the time comes, Richard. And don't forget your friends. Lost you?
Yes, Arctic timber wolf. That's why the word slay includes entertaining, feeding, making them clap. Go look up the definition, Strong's Hebrew, capital H, 1522, I think, is the most common usage that people are talking about in the Bible when it says kill, and the word slay, which includes clapping. Yeah, go look it up. I don't know how you clap someone to death. I'd love to hear. You could give them the clap, they could die, but you can't clap at somebody and make them keel over. It's not going to work.
I could
Or they have really bad shell shock.
I could slap somebody to death.
Yeah, but you can't clap them to death. That means using, your two hands against each other.
It also sounds the same.
A smack and a clap? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it could be.
Two different Hebrew words, though.
What's the Hebrew word for clap? What's the Hebrew word for slap?
Oh my gosh, I'm not that good. Sorry, but.
Oh, are you definitely sure there's two words? Because a lot of times words.
Sure, I can look it up for you right here.
Yeah.
I can just share my screen from.
I couldn't cook a chicken by slapping it unless I could slap it really fast and create friction and heat. Now, if I could slap that fast,
Wow.
I could sell myself as a male prostitute human vibrator. You know?
Yeah, you and Quicksilver, I'm telling you.
A lot of times words that sound. Now, it's not just the spelling. Quite recently, I seen something. It may have been Religion for Breakfast, where they were talking about threading a camel through the eye of a needle. And the word needle and door are very, very similarly sounding, even though they are spelt slightly different. So in the interpretation that went down the line, some person in the new community newly was making the argument that it wasn't needle, it should have been door, but then he obviously dismissed it as the video went along. But that's what the point I'm trying to make is, that words, even though you may look at them and they are spelt differently, they could sound similarly. Did anyone else see that giant flame that just appeared on my screen?
You did. Okay, so here's the Hebrew
I
word
personally
slap.
I can't see this because it's only tiny.
I'm going to read it to you. Conjugation of the verb to slap, gonna slap, I'll slap, just slap. So it's the word slap, like the verb slap in action,
Can you say the word?
Uh,
Can you say the word for me? Because that's the point I'm trying to make.
Hold on a second. Let's see if they have an audio. Oh, here we go. Pronunciation.
Slap.
I meant not for the English. I know how to say slap. I meant for the Hebrew word for slap. Oh, here we go.
לסתור. והרגשת שזה הכרחי לחלוטין לסתור לי.
That's a sentence.
These stole. I can't do it, man. Did you hear him say that? Did I forget to share sound?
I heard a sentence. There's no way that long ass thing meant clap.
No, it's just the one word, listo something, listoli. That word is slap, not the whole thing.
Right. It doesn't matter. Would you agree?
Listo.
כולנו רצינו לסתור להוגו באותו היום.
So he
Right.
said it and then he used it in a sentence there.
Listo. Right. Now use the other one.
Okay. What do you mean, the other one?
Both words sound.
The other word?
Were they both the exact same? Because I heard the same thing twice. That was making my point.
Yeah, that was the word slap.
And then clap.
Oh, okay, I'm working on it. I'm not as instantaneous as Google is. Sorry. They just replaced the C, huh?
It doesn't matter what the fucking thing is. The point still stands.
But it's not listo. Oh, look. First answer, clap in the Bible. Um,
So it referenced clap when you looked up slap.
how to say clap in Hebrew. Hold on a second. Does it have like a pronunciation or something? Oh, yes. Let's see, tap, clap, clap. Here we go.
Bearded
There's
Heretic is exactly right. He must have watched the same video. Yes, there was a big door and a little door. It was a local thing. Yeah.
Oh, you goofus. I didn't want you to say clap in English. I want you to say it in Hebrew. I'm writing this in English. Why would you think? I don't know who writes this
This
stuff.
is so funny, man. Your head is positioned so you have a red halo of all the Earths.
Maybe that's what they were trying to paint in all those old paintings.
It's your
I don't
view
know.
with red halos around you.
No, not of me, but the halo thing, you know? It's actually like a ring of heaven.
Ah, yeah.
Please say the word.
You're very slow.
No,
at this.
not clap. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing right the last time and wrong this time, but anyway.
It keeps
It's
bringing.
two
No,
different
no,
words.
no.
It wouldn't be said the same way.
The fact that you keep typing in slap and it keeps coming back with clap proves my fucking point.
No, I didn't. I typed in slap and it gave a Hebrew word which looked a certain way with certain letters, and they pronounced it the T Temissimo, whatever the hell they said. Tizo. I don't know. I don't speak Hebrew. And then when I typed in the word clap and had it translated, it had a different word that looked different. And I couldn't get the computer to say it.
But
It kept saying it in English, which I understood, but it looked different. It's not the same letters. So it wouldn't be pronounced the same if it's different letters.
strange that you stopped
Oh.
sharing your screen when that popped up, and then when it stopped sharing screen, we couldn't hear the voice either.
This is my martyr face. Okay, you want me to try again until I
No,
can get the
no,
computer
I'm
to do the
highlighting in
thing?
blue, man. I'm highlighting in blue. That's how close to the end it is.
You can look stuff up too, you know.
No, it's
If
funnier.
I'm bad at it, you
It's
you might
funnier.
be better at it.
It's funnier to watch you do it. It's fucking.
Look, I don't like have standard. I could use Bible Gateway though.
No, we're stopping. We're stopping.
Oh no, wait. Let me see
Can
if
we
I
just
find
agree
it.
that you've got the clap now?
Sure. Which one? I did slap, but I didn't look up clap. And the Hebrew word for clap is only 6 times in the text. And it is, I mean, it got translated 6. It's sapak. Hebrew 5606. Safak or sapak, depending on who translates it. To clap the hands in a token of compact, I guess that means like derision, grief, indignation, or punishment, by implication of satisfaction to be enough, by implication of excess to vomit. Claps might strike, suffice, wallow. There you have it.
Yep. Bollocks.
Well, it's just a different word. And then I could look up, instead of clap, slap.
You're stuck in this rabbit hole, Richard.
You're the one who started it. What do you mean I'm stuck? The literal English word slap in the King James appears 0 times. So it never got translated as slap. That's what that means. But I could go to Hebrew definition. I think it's 1:5:22. Nope, it's not 1522. I'm misremembering the number.
Now we're just rambling and it's watching you do things, so it's best you just stop. We end the show. You go and find that. Maybe come back and email me or something. We're not even doing the
Or
show.
we could just end this episode at where we stopped, because you did promise someone a certain something and etc. And it doesn't include us going on like this forever.
She's in the bath, like, you know. She's in the bath. But Anyway, yes, we're getting near the end. I want to thank everybody that's turned up. It was good to see you again, Bearded Heretic. You should come by on Saturdays, man, if you're free. Saturdays this week, we have a PhD candidate coming on for the panel. All going well. They have given us a yes, but you know, they're building a house at the minute, and Richard will tell you what it's like to build a house. Shit can go wrong. We're supposed to be here last Saturday, and when they went home from the cafe talking to me to go check on the work, it was like, no, I can't do the hangout tomorrow. I have to fix all of this because this is all wrong. So all going well. They'll be here. They're a PhD candidate doing the history of science. I think they mentioned their thesis is on a debate between Einstein and a philosopher about the meaning of time and what time is. So I think we'll be having that sort of conversation. His name is Michael Grando.
Wow.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun, man. Should be off.
That'd be. Yeah, I'd love to listen in on that and feel really stupid and confused the whole time. That would be great.
You see, this is the thing. Michael's background is more of a philosophy background and theological background. So there's no real mathematics in their discussion, in their, you know, wording and how they look at it. It's more of a thought experiment, more going down that way, more thinking. They're not a quantum physicist. They're a philosopher. So they look at it from that point of view. So it'd be really, really, really good fun, like. So I think it should be a lot of fun. Simos has got like 3 papers to read. He's like, oh, I'm reading this and this, and he's doing prep and all for it.
Simos is going to be participating in this?
Yes, yes.
I love that brain.
Simos and me again. I haven't fucking. Simos and me have a. Simos has agreed to help me out on a new channel called In My Opinion, with no religion, topical conversations. No God, you know, none of this shit that we do on a Saturday night, or even what me and you do, you know.
Are you saying religion is not a topic?
No, I'm trying to. You see, I knew you were going to do that. That's why I'm trying to give a longer definition. But you know the crack. You know what I mean. All right, no trolls, no bullshit, no nothing. You know, I just want something that we can have, and hopefully Michael will be coming on to that as well. So yeah, definitely call by on Saturday. Richard, some stage this week, depending on the sleeping schedule of a certain person, will be streaming.
Tomorrow morning at 10, apparently on my regular channel. We have a date. I know Mac will be there.
You need to get Mac on.
And by 10 o'clock, I mean 12 EST, 10 Mountain.
Or all the Christians in the chat as well. Apocalypse Here and Spartan Theology have teamed up. All right, they're now working together. They're doing stuff together. I think it's mainly on Apocalypse Here's channel. I noticed it the other day, and I was talking to Spartan, and I said that I would give him a shout out, you know. So it is a Christian channel. It would be very well read, very well thought out. No bullshit, you know. Don't be thinking fucking praise I am, or, you know, any of that sort of ilk of quality of Christian. You know, it's well thought out. It's scholarly research that they would talk to. They talk to people in good fields. So Apocalypse Here is the channel name. Or if you check out Spartan Theology, you know, they'll definitely get you a link from their channel. Because
look at that.
I would definitely look at it, man. Yeah, I would give them a shout out. Said that I would. And always have a lot of love for Spartan Theology. Like. Fellow fantastic father. And Richard's broken. Oh.
I was reading the side chat.
Do you read the side chat like this?
Only when it reads something I can't understand, like, give us a twirl, MathPig.
Oh, that's...
I'm not sure what twirl there means.
I think the twirl is in reference to me birthday. With the G-string leopard print. You see, your eye changed.
There, did you?
Your eye changed. Pardon?
You gave them a twirl then?
I give them a twirl, yes. Yes.
A real fast one, I assume.
Fast enough, but not fast enough for them not to get a screenshot.
Yeah.
Just my ass on screen, like, but...
I would think so, yeah.
According to a lot of straight men, I have a great ass, so I'm... straight men.
There's worse things than other men recognizing you're a handsome guy. There's worse things.
I do alright. On that note, she's in the bath, so not be long till she's out, so I'm going to go. Richard, yes, we've done the shilling, we've done all that. I still haven't finished my new Patreon and membership video. I've been useless. I bought a new phone, So it's not even on this phone anymore. I have to fucking finish.
Why do you say useless when you mean busy?
Because I know that there's at least 3 or 4 hours of the day where I would procrastinate. And
Well, then you needed that time.
I could probably use that time better.
No, I don't think you could.
Oh no, I definitely could. Definitely.
No, you couldn't because you didn't. So I can tell you didn't.
No, I made a lot of times I make the choice not to.
Well, then you needed that time to not do that.
I think you're just being nice.
No, I think that's human.
Oh yeah, definitely human. Genuine asshole.
Sometimes we just need a break, man. It's okay. Okay.
On that note, thank you very much to everybody that has come. Everyone that's turned up. It's always fun. Thank you to all. Will finish. I haven't wiped the other phone. I will finish the new video and we will get that on Saturday. Bearded Heretic, definitely, man. I'll send you a link on Saturday or remind me. Love to have you on for the panels on Saturday. They go all which ways, from hearing aid conversations to Christianity to Richard and how he converses sometimes with. That wasn't a Saturday, that was a Tuesday. Anyway, good fun. People, don't forget, think for yourselves. All right, always remember to think for yourselves. Peace and respect, Richard, and thank you very much. Oh.
And your religion is false.
My doctrine is the true doctrine.
It's false.
True doctrine.
Love you, brother.